So it's been around a week since Pomu Rainpuff from Nijisanji EN has graduated, and I've been debating making this video because I don't wish to start drama or stir anything that's currently happening. But there are a few things that I do want to bring up because I haven't seen anyone talk about them yet. But just before I get into everything, I just want to say that I've been a big fan of Nijisanji EN since around mid-2021, which is very early because they debuted in, I think it was May, if I remember correctly. And since I've been pretty active in following Nijisanji EN and all the shenanigans they've been doing, all the way up until I think XLA, and that's when I kinda fell off because I couldn't catch up with all the new people that were coming in every other month. And the reason I'm saying all of this now is to just say that this video comes from a place of interest instead of drama or I think this branch is going to explode kind of deal. And that's all I wanted to say, so let's get into it, and I'll start with my first point with why I think she left. Because if you don't remember, the announcement came as quite a surprise. It felt just like one day it was completely fine, everything was normal, then the next day, well, she's graduating in like 2 weeks. And people wondering why, what happened, and how all of this was so sudden. But I thought about it a bit more, and it kind of started to make sense to me why this happened. Hear me out. You might think I'm referring to the clip that's been shared around recently, and it has nothing to do with that, and I've kind of formed this before all of that happened. And so before I just bring up my idea, I need to talk about another recently graduated member, Nina. And the things that she was great at while she was at Nijisanji was the idea of the Nijisanji family, kind of being the, well, mother of the group, and always tried to be there with as many as the other talents as she could. I mean, the best way to show this is that all the off collabs that she's done with several of the talents, plus her graduation stream, which was so long and had basically everyone in the branch there. And by me saying these things, it may seem even more confusing on why she might have graduated. Now, it may seem weird, but I'm not going to talk about much about this graduation in this video. But I do need to talk a bit about her success outside Niji EN, as it's been extremely successful, and she's doing great right now. And I'm not saying this specifically for Pomu, but it's kind of been a waypoint to see that you don't need the company to be as successful as you are. Because I am going to be pretty honest and say most of the members in Nijisanji EN could be as successful as they are right now if they left the company as if they stay right now. Now I want you to hold on to some of these ideas as I bring it back to Pomu, who was someone who was very dedicated to the branch. As you know, she was the first generation, and it's very easy to see her devotion as she's done so many collaborations with so many of the talents in massive projects like the Virtual to Live one. I think there was a few other ones that I can't name off the top of my head. But speaking of which, the space balloon in that video was incredible to watch. That was so much fun. And the recent one when they went to Antarctica, that was also so cool. And these are big projects that take a long time to organize. So I don't think personally that it was all management that was denying all her stuff and was taking away her ability to do all these big things. But I do feel like being in a company, even if it was Hololive, is still kind of holding you back from what you can fully do, because no matter how much you try by yourself and how big you grow, it is really hard to set your foot down outside of the company. And even everyone that's probably gonna watch this video, you probably know most of the talents inside the English branch and probably know a bunch of other talents from every other company out there, because VTubers, as large as they are still pretty confined in their own bubble, and being in a company kind of just puts you into that bubble. Now, if you get into a big company, it pushes you quite up a bit, but still growing outside that is extremely difficult, and there's only been quite a few talents that have poked their way out into the mainstream. Gura, Philly, and Iron Mouse, just a few to name them off. So personally, I don't think she's immediately gonna join another big company. If not, it's probably going to be just VShojo or maybe even Mythic. I mean, they're not really a VTuber agency, but I still think there's plenty of things that she wants to do, so I don't think she's going to be gone for very long. And it is quite sad to see an end of an era, but you know, it's kind of looking forwards, and seeing what exciting new things are going to be happening in the future. But you may look at this video and realize that we're not over quite yet, because I still have a few things I need to say, because with Pomu leaving, I think there might be, and it's actually been happening in the background if you're not paying attention to it, a unexpected domino effect of her leaving. And also I think it contributes to why she left, because even she said it when she was announcing her graduation. Now, I'm probably not going to quote this correctly, but she said something along the lines of seeing all of her friends go, and she didn't want to be the last one to leave. Now, this is quite important because it's something that we've already seen in other branches like KR and ID that is slowly happening to EN, but I don't think people are seeing it quite yet, which is the fact that 1 or 2 members leave leads to just more people leaving. And it's not something that Nijisanji can particularly stop at any point, because it's just how things work, and it's how the fans like it as well. I'm talking about the idea of the whole Nijisanji family kind of thing, which I do think is one of the biggest strong points, is that no matter the generation, the wave, gender or anything, it feels like anyone can hop into another stream at any time, and it can be any 2 members, a whole group of members, or even like half the entire branch is just hanging out and chilling together. There isn't another company that doesn't like it, and it's really fun to see. It's something that you don't really see anywhere else, and it's, as a viewer, very fun to watch. And the thing is, when people leave, that's their friends. That's the people they've been making content with for maybe years, and the only thing stopping them being together is just being in the company. And recently I saw a clip of Anna saying something along these very lines, where she was recently rated by Layla, and then afterwards was kind of reminiscing like how much fun she had talking with Mika until she graduated. But she's still okay because she still has friends around. But I mean, if people like Millie and Alira just decide to go, then they might drag an entire group of people along with them. And a lot of these later generations were fans of these original members, and seeing them leave and even doing successful outside the branch may just be enough to convince them to, you know, if they don't have to stick around, they don't really need to, which is not very good for a big branch that people love. And I think there is a way to fix it, and the talents can do it at any time they need to, even if they get pushback from management, because the thing is, they have leverage. These talents are important to, you know, Nijisanji as a company. That's how they sell merchandise, and if a talent leaves, that's one more person they can't really make merchandising of. So I want to make sure that these talents know that they have the leverage. If they need to get a project that they want done, they should have all the resources they can provide to them, because it's just gonna lead to growth, and this isn't experimentation or a potential waste of money. This is just normal growth and content creation as it's always been. And I think Nijisanji aren't really investing enough into their talents from an outsider's point of view. And personally, I'm gonna say it here, I don't think Nijisanji is a black company. A black company is usually described as a company that doesn't let their workers rest and underpays them and all the bad stuff that you normally think of a big evil company to do. I do feel like the company does give the talents room and time that they want. I mean, there's probably deadlines and everything, but that's not different to most other places. And I'm not saying there isn't probably a problem in some internal management way, because I mean, it's definitely been popping up recently. And I think many people can agree with me when I say that we don't want this branch to fail. We want the talents to do well. We want to see success and growth and see all of our favorite talents do amazing stuff in the future. And they can, it's possible. Pomu leaving was her decision to move on and seeing what she can do outside of that. But that doesn't mean the company has to slow you down or has to stop you. As I already mentioned, people already get a pretty big buff from when they were indie when they joined the company. And I do really want to see people take that and then succeed, grow fan base, do big projects and events. And I know companies operate way more different to independent creators. And so I hope this video gave you some food for thought to think about over the next couple of months or even this entire year. I mean, it's still January. Remember to support your favorite talents. And I know I'll probably appear eventually sometime in the future. Goodbye.